ॐ गुरुरेव गति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरुः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेदमपेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरमोभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। We are seeing Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana and we have completed up to Canto 5 and we have started Canto 6. And in Canto 6, in the last video, we saw the episode of Ajamila, which covered the first 3 chapters. And after hearing the episode of Ajamila, which explains the power of Bhagavat Nama, after hearing that, Parikshit Maharaja requested to Sri Shuka Brahma Rishi to explain more about this creation. And Shuka Brahma Rishi said that he explained continued the story of Prachetas. Prachetas were 10 brothers. They were the 10 sons of King Prachina Barhas. And once, by the advice of their father, King Prachina Barhas, the Prachetas went to do tapas underwater and they saw Bhagavan Sri Rudra coming from that water. And Bhagavan Sri Rudra instructed them or advised them the Rudra Gita. And repeating that Rudra Gita itself, they did tapas for many years underwater. And at last they were able to see the Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. And Bhagavan was so much happy with the tapas they did. And he said that, now you go to your land, get married to the daughter of the Vriksha tree and have children, and in that way multiply or increase the progeny or increase the species in this world. Like this, Bhagavan said. So after getting the blessings from Bhagavan, they came out of water. And when they came out of water, they could see that the entire land was completely filled with many trees. Trees were grown here and there. It was just like a very thick forest. They were not even able to come out of that area itself. So much that land itself was covered with trees, and they got very angry. And using their yogic power, they burned many trees. When they burned many trees, Lord Brahma, the moon deity Chandradeva, as well as the Vriksha Maharaj, the forest deity, that is the god of the Vriksha trees, and Lord Brahma said to Prachetas that these trees are brought for a purpose. You may not need the trees, but so many beings are dependent on the trees. Many animals are dependent on the trees for their food. Even human beings are dependent on the trees for their fruits and medicinal value also. The trees, they give shelter for the birds. Even it gives a shade for the human beings. Ordinarily, the beings who are of higher value, they depend on the beings of the lower value. For example, the animals and all, they depend on the plants for food. And the higher animals, they depend on the lower animals for food. even man are dependent on the plants and vegetation for food. So you may not need it, but it is needed for this creation. And moreover, now only you have come out of tapas, and you might have realized that Bhagavan resides in all these beings. Everywhere Bhagavan resides in it. So with what basis are you destroying the trees? So instead of that, you be friend with the trees and marry the daughter of that vriksha. And like this, Lord Brahma instructed to the Prachetas. Prachetas accepted the instruction of Lord Brahma, and the Prachetas, the 10 of them, they married the daughter of the vriksha and they went to their land. They led the family life, and they had a son by name Daksha. He is the Prajapati. In the initial stages of this creation, all the other beings, whether it is man or animals or rishis, they were brought out by meditative power of Lord Brahma and the great rishis. But the creation process was very slow. It is not going in that fast pace. So after that only, Lord Brahma and all the Prajapatis, they all thought of bringing the species or bringing the progeny by as a couple. So Daksha was the son of Prachetas and his wife, who is the daughter of the Vriksha Raja. And Daksha, he went to do tapas. He went to the Vindhya mountains, and there he did meditation on the banks of the river Agamarshana. There he meditated on Bhagavan. Now, Daksha is responsible for bringing out multiply the species in this creation, because the earth is there, the plants and all the trees are there, but there are no human beings or any other beings. So they have to multiply the species in a fast rate. So as a couple only they can do it, because each time they have to meditate and bring out on being, it will take time. So as a couple, Prachetas and their wife, that is the daughter of the Vriksha, they brought the son Daksha. Now it is his responsibility to multiply the species. So Daksha went to the Vindhya mountains, and he was on the banks of river Agamarshana, and he meditated on Bhagavan by telling this stotra, which is very famously known as the Hamsa Guhya Stotra. नमः पराया विततानुभूतये गुणत्रयाभासन्निमित्तबन्धवे अदृष्टदाम्ने गुणतत्त्वबुद्धिभिर्निवृत्तमानाय ददे स्वयंभुवे. I salute that Paramatma who is Swayambhu, that is self-effulgent. He is that consciousness intelligence. He is the sustainer of both the Maya as well as the Jiva. He is not attained by the person who is worldly minded, and he transcends the everything, and he is that supreme consciousness. I salute that Bhagavan, that supreme being. That supreme being is present in all the beings as the jiva, but no one is aware of him. No one knows him. He is the support of this entire universe. He is the universal witness, but no one knows him. I salute that Bhagavan. Deho savoksha manavo bhuta matra natmanamanyam cha viduh param yatah sarvam puman veda gunam satajño na veda sarvajña manantamide. This body, the prana, the mind, the senses, everything is dependent on the jiva. But the jiva doesn't know its own source. It doesn't know where it is coming from. The jiva is the reflection of that supreme being. The jiva supports everything, and the jiva is supported by the supreme being. I salute that Bhagavan, who is that supreme being. Yadopparamo manaso namaruparupasya दृष्टस्मृति संप्रमोक्षान् यहीयते केवलया स्वसंस्थया Hamsaya tasmai suchisatmane namaha. I salute that being who shines in the mind which is free of all the modifications. That pure mind only he will shine. I salute that being. Savai mama shesha visheshamaya Visheda nirvana sukhanubhudihi Sasarvanama sacha vishwarupah Prasidhatama niruktatma shaktihi. Savai, that Paramatma, Sarvanama, he is all the names. Vishwarupaka, he is all forms of this entire creation. Aniruktatma Shaktiki, he is that infinite power called Maya in him. If one nishedha Maya, if one negate that Maya, then what he experiences is Nirvana Sukha Anubhuti. He experiences that being which is bereft of all the modifications. He experienced that person when he negates that Maya, he experienced that pure consciousness. That Paramatma Mama Prasidadam, that Bhagavan bless me. Like this, Daksha, he worshipped to that Bhagavan. And he said that what are known by the words, what are all heard as a sound, what are all are understood by the intellect, what are all are grasped by the senses, what are all are imagined by the mind, all this is not your pristine nature, that is not your true nature. That is all that is Maya, its three gunas and its evolutes. But your nature cannot be explained. It is beyond the words. And what we understand by creation, preservation, and dissolution, that is your Maya and the evolutes of Maya, the three gunas, and everything is only that. But no one can understand your true nature. That Bhagavan, that true Bhagavan I worship, you are the cause of all the causes and you exist before everything came into existence. You are that Adi Purusha and you have countless attributes and man are deluded by it and he forgets his own nature. And because of that, everything comes as a confusion. Everyone is deluded because they all forget their own nature. And because they have forgot their own nature, so many philosophies came into being. Many philosophies are there, many religions are there, many rituals are there, many deities are there, and sometimes there's both the philosophies contradict with each other also. They contradict with each other. So you are hidden behind that screen of Maya. If everyone knows you in a sense, then they will not be deluded. So I want to worship that pure being, that absolute being. Yonugrahartam bhajatam patamulam anamarupo bhagavananantaha namani rupani cha janma karmabhi beje samahyam parama prasidadam. Anamarupa Ananta Bhagavanyaha. He is that Bhagavan who does not have any names or any Rupa. So what we imagine about Bhagavan with some Rupa is his Maya. He is beyond that. He cannot be confined in any Rupa. He is the Bhagavan who does not have any Rupa or Nama because he is infinite. He manifests himself under his Sattva Guna. Using his pure Sattva Guna, he manifests himself as a different incarnations and he plays different Leelas and he bless many devotees. May that Bhagavan bless me. Like this, Daksha worshipped this Hamsa Guhya Stotra in the three Sandhyas, worshipping Bhagavan. And at one time, Bhagavan was so pleased by his bhakti and he appeared before him in that Rupas. Suddha Sattva Rupa. That is, Suddha Sattva Rupa is that Rupa with Shanga Chakra Gadha Rupa. And he appeared before him and Daksha, he just prostrated before that form of Bhagavan. And Bhagavan said, I am so happy and pleased with your bhakti. You understood me very well. And he said, Brahma bhavo bhavantascha manavo vibuddheshwara vibhutayo mama heta bhutanam bhuti hetavah. Brahma, yourself, Manus, Prajapatis, they are brought out by me only to multiply the species, because that creation is going in a very slow pace. So you have to multiply the species. That is all of your responsibility. For all that only I brought you. Aham ye vasame vagre nanyat kinchantaram bahihi sajnana matram avyaktam prasuptamiva vishwataham. At first I was alone. No one was there. No creation was there. I was alone. That pure consciousness transcending all the relations, because there was no beings itself. I was devoid of within and without, because no one was there. I was in that unmanifested form. Nothing else was there. And it was as if everything was in slumber. Nothing was there. Mayananta gunenanto gunato guna vigragaha yada sittadayevadyaha swayambhu samabhudajaha. So everything was within me, in that unmanifested form. My power Maya, it has immeasurable power, and it came out and brought out my cosmic form, and that is the Brahmanda. From the Brahmanda came Lord Brahma. In the beginning, Lord Brahma was very weak, so I instructed him to do tapas on me. He performed that tapas very well, and by that he got immeasurable power. And using that power only, he is creating all this entire creation. So he was without any power in the beginning. Then he meditated on me and he attained all that power by tapas. And you Prajapatis, you were brought for this purpose only. It is your responsibility to multiply the species in this world. So you marry the daughter of another Prajapati, Panchajana. Her name is Ashikni. You marry her and bring out many, many progenies, so that this world, the three worlds, will be filled with your progeny. Like this, Bhagavan said to Daksha, and he disappeared. As instructed by Bhagavan, Daksha came to his place and he married Ashikni, and they both had 10,000 children, and they were collectively known as Haryashvas. And when they grew up, Daksha Prajapati, he advised them that it is your responsibility to multiply the species in these three worlds. So you perform tapas, worship Bhagavan, you marry any woman, and then multiply the progeny, because everything should start with the blessing of Bhagavan. I did like this, so you also go and do tapas like this. Daksha Prajapati and instructed his 10,000 sons to do tapas on Bhagavan, get his blessing, and then multiply the species. Only then your mind will become pure, so that what all you create will all be pure only. These 10,000 children, they went to Narayana Sarasya place. It is the place where river Sindhu meet the sea. That place is Narayana Saras. It is in the Kutch area. They all went to Narayana Saras place, and it is a very famous place for doing tapas. They worshipped Bhagavan very sincerely, performing all the right austerities, and with great concentration they performed tapas. When they were performing tapas like this, very sincerely performing tapas, sage Narada came to them and he said that, what are you all doing? You are wasting your life to attain some worldly purpose. You are that Purusha, and only because of that Purusha, this body, prana, senses, all are active. and only they are active, they are involved in the worldly matters. You are that Purusha without realizing it, without understanding it. You are involving in the worldly matters. What is it? You just worship on that Bhagavan, attain Atmajnana and understand yourself. You're wasting your precious life to attain material benefits, like this sage Narada said to that 10,000 sons of Daksha. And the 10,000 sons, they thought, yes, it is true what he says. Why waste our life in worldly matters and improving the species? Like this, they thought, and they took renunciation. And they went to the forest and meditated on that Atma self and and they became liberated. When Daksha Prajapati came to know of this, he was so much worried, depressed. But what to do? Again, he, along with his wife, they brought out many thousand children, and they were collectively known as the Sabalasvas. And when they also grew up, Daksha Prajapati instructed them to do tapas, purify the mind, and then marry and get more progeny and multiply the species. So they were also obedient children only, like, just like their brothers. They went to that same area, Narayana Saras, and they worshipped on Bhagavan to purify their mind, to get married and have children. And they did tapas by telling this mantra, Om Namo Narayanaya Purushaya Mahatmane Vishuddha Sadvadishnaya Mahahamsaya Dhimahi. I meditate on that Bhagavan who is Narayana, who is pure, who is the soul of all souls, who is the pervades everywhere, that pure being, that perfect being. He is reflected in all. I meditate on that Bhagavan. Like this, they said this mantra again and again and worshipped Bhagavan. So when they were worshipping Bhagavan like this again, sage Narada appeared before them, and they said, your brothers also performed tapas like this, but they wanted to realize their own self, and so they left the tapas and they attained mukti. Why are you wasting the life to attain some worldly matters? You also, like your brother, go into that way of renunciation and attain mukti. Like this, sage Narada directed their path, and again this Sabalasvas also, they took renunciation and they went to the forest, meditated on Bhagavan or the Atma, and attained mukti. When Daksha Prajapati came to know of it, he was very angry, very depressed, and he was very angry once he saw Sage Narada, and Daksha Prajapati said to Sage Narada, you are responsible for making my children as beggars and mendicants. You are responsible for cutting my family line. Bhagavan instructed me to multiply the species, but you came in between and intruded everything and spoiled everything, spoiled the life of my children also. Any person has to, when born on the earth, they has to satisfy the three debts. That is, they have to repay the three debts. One is the debt for the rishis. By reading the scriptures, we have to repay the debt of the rishis. Another is the debt of the devas. We have to worship them and please them. And next is the debt of the pitras. We have to bring out the progeny and repay their debt. But you have barred them from repaying these three debts. If a person do not repay these three debts, even if he takes renunciation, then he will not attain peace of mind. Moreover, a person has to take renunciation after experiencing everything in the worldly life, both the happiness and sorrow, and understand the limitations of the worldly life, and then he has to renounce everything. Or that is the right renunciation. If a person take renunciation before that, then he is not fit for taking renunciation, but you have instructed them to take renunciation, and my children, without any knowledge, they took renunciation, following your words and ignoring my words. Since you have done a great sin for this creation as well as for me, and for that sin, tasma lokeshu te moodah na bhaved brahmata padam. Therefore, you will not have any permanent place in this universe, any permanent place to stay. You will be always wandering about in this world. Like this, Daksha Prajapati cursed sage Narada. Sage Narada, who was respected in the three worlds, was cursed by Daksha Prajapati. So after that, Daksha Prajapati calmed down himself, and along with his wife Ashikni, he brought out 60 daughters, and they all were married to different rishis. First 10 daughters were married to Dharmaraja, and the next 13 of them were married to Kashyapa Rishi, and the next 27 to Chandra Bhagavan, and then 2 each to Bhuta, Angiras, and Kriseswar. And again, the 4 of them were also married to Kashyapa Prajapati, who was also known as Takshaya. Now, these daughters, they brought out many progeny who were all very famous people. One of them was Vishwakarma, the architect of the Devas, then the presiding deity of the clouds, then the deity of the manifestation, Sankalpa, Chakshusha Manu, the Rudras, their bodyguards, the Vinayakas, the Atharva Rishi who brought out the Atharva Veda, Garuda, the Kadru, the serpents, Surya Devata. Like this, many devatas, asuras, everyone were brought out by the daughters of the Daksha Prajapati. Thus, they multiplied their species and filled the three worlds. And in that, Daksha Prajapati's grandchildren were also very famous people. And the Kashyapa Rishi and one of the daughters of Daksha Prajapati, they brought out the aquatic creatures. And one daughter and Kashyapa Prajapati, they brought out all the wild animals. Another one, all the animals, Surabhi and Kashyapa Prajapati, they brought out the cows. And all the birds, another daughter, all the birds, Apsaras, all the vegetation, and the Gandharvas, the Kuberas, like the Yakshas, everyone, they were brought out by the daughters of Daksha Prajapati. And like this, they multiplied the species of the three worlds. Like this, Shuka Brahmarshi explained to Parikshit Maharaja about the creation. Now, another one incident Shuka Brahmarshi said was, it was the story of the Indradeva. Once, Indradeva was in his palace Sabha with all the devas, and they were discussing about something, and the Apsaras were dancing, and the Gandharvas were playing music. They were so happily discussing about some serious matter. At that time, Guru Brahaspati came to that assembly. And as usual, Indradeva did not respect the Guru Brahaspati, and Brahaspati sat there for some time, but no one seemed to mind him. Not even the Devas or the Gandharvas or the Apsaras, no one. They did not care for him. They were all in their busy work. And Guru Brahaspati, he got angry, and he do not want to be in the place where he is not respected. So he went out. And once when Guru Brahaspati walked out of that assembly, Indradeva saw that Guru and he ran behind him, but he disappeared. No one knows where he went. And Indradeva, he sent many Gandharvas and Devas everywhere in the nooks and corner of this creation, nowhere he could find. He disappeared from their vision. And Indradeva was so much worried. Taking this as an opportunity, the Asuras began to fight with them, and they occupy their place under the instruction of Shukracharya. So the Devas, they did not have any place. So as usual, they went and cried to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma said, what you did was a great mistake. one should not be there without respecting their guru. And the Asuras, they respect their guru Shukracharya, and that's why they get all the opportunity to win over you. Now, anyway, now you have lost your place. No one can help you because the Asuras were so powerful because they were instructed by Shukracharya. And now you go to a Brahmana by name Vishwarupa. He is also on the side of the Ashuras only, but sometimes if you request them, he may help you. So you better go to Vishwarupa, that he is a great Brahmana, and you ask him for support. And these devas, along with Indra, God Indra, they came to Vishwarupa and requested them to help them. And Vishwarupa said, your weakness is you are not respecting the Guru. And the power of the Ashuras is they are respecting the Guru. Anyway, I have meditated on Bhagavan Srimad Narayana by telling the Narayana Kavacha mantra. I have attained so many power from repeating that mantra. I will tell you or teach you that mantra. You also repeat that Narayana Kavacha stotra or mantra, and you can attain that psychic armor, that protection, shield of protection from Sriman Narayana. I will teach you the Sri Narayana Kavacha. Like this, Vishwarupa said. And he instructed the Devas the Narayana Kavacha, which we will see in the next upload. Om Namo Narayana Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.